Good morning. My name is Robert Merchant. I am the owner of CCI Investments. I also am a broker in California. I own a company called CCI Real Estate. We're here today to tell you guys about what we do. If you can look us up under mobilehomeparkconsultants.com. I've been in the mobile park business since the early 90s. I own mobile home parks. I have partnerships in mobile home parks. I got pieces of the action in lots of places because I've done this a long time. I started as a real estate agent for Century 21 and had a fellow that bought a mobile home park, and we had it for, I don't know, a few months and sold it for $50,000 more than we paid for it. Bought another one and sold it for a couple of $100,000 more, and I said, well, that's pretty good business. And we got into this. Now, today I have with me, just before I stop this, is Mark Crawford. Mark is one of my investors. I have Kristen out of the frame over here. She's the Vice President of Operations.
Hello.
I got Rachel over here. Rachel is the Vice President of Acquisitions for my company.
Hello.
And Earl is in the acquisition department. He's
Hello.
over here running the camera. So we're just here to kind of tell y'all about what we do. Like I said, I sold mobile home parks for clients, and then I bought a park of my own. And I was up in San Andreas, and I sold that mobile home park. And I was down in Mississippi visiting relatives where I grew up, and I went over to the coast. And I drove through a mobile home park, and a man was standing outside working, and I said, "Sir, do you know who owns this mobile home park?" And he said, "I do." And I said, "Would you like to sell it?" And he said, "I've been thinking about it." His name was Mr. Blankenship, still a friend of mine. I bought his mobile home park, and he told me about a friend of his that had 2 more mobile home parks. And I went over there and bought one, and a client of mine bought the other one. And I still have that mobile home park in my portfolio today, and not the one in Ocean Springs, but the one over there in Moss Point, still in my portfolio today. And I paid $250,000 for it. I think we're fixing to get an offer for $1.3 million on it. Unfortunately, it's in my portfolio, but I don't own it. I sold it for $500,000, and the guy I sold it to is going to get an offer for $1.3 million, but I still run it. That's what we do. We're consultants in the mobile home park business. We go in, people hire us to either come in and fix a mobile home park for us. Sometimes we'll get hired as to operate a mobile home park for somebody because they're intending to get it ready to be refinanced or sold or something like that. But most of our clients, when they find a park, or we find a park, or we know about a park, or they know about a park, they hire us to come in and we check out the property. We make a plan for the property with them. It's not our plan, it's their plan. We give them advice, because that's what we are, consultants, on what we think should be done with the property. We do the due diligence checking to see what the laws are about fixing mobile homes in the park. Can you do that? Some places you can't. What the laws are about evicting people. You can't just look on the internet and ask what the laws are for that state for evicting people, because it doesn't matter. I know it's supposed to matter, but it really don't. It matters what that local judge says. So that's his. We had a park in Georgia that we couldn't evict people because it said we had to move the trailers. And I said, well, that ain't what it says in the law. And I called the city attorney, and she said I was exactly right, and got the judge to back off. Then she retired. The next time I went to evict somebody, he wouldn't do it again. And the other city attorney said, I'm not going to help you. That's the judge. And we had to go in there. But I tell you what, I went in and I talked to a mover, and I said, just pick out the home because you want, and come in here and pull it out, and they'll have to pay you. And he went in here and jerked out. Matter of fact, the story, we just bought this park. People weren't paying. So one morning, he went over there at about 7 o'clock in the morning, jerked 3 of the nice trailers out of there, took them to his yard, and they had to go in and pay him for storage fee and moving it back. And I tell you what, I ain't had anybody there that I've had to evict in a long time, because everybody started paying their rent, okay? So that's what we do. We look at a mobile home park. You don't pay us anything unless we buy something. So we might look at 4, 5, 6 parks for you, make a plan, and you don't have to worry about us wanting you to hurry to buy it just so we'll get paid, because we have to operate that park for you, which is most of my, like Mark, most of my clients ain't gonna buy apartments, so we're gonna operate it, because they don't wanna operate it. So we're gonna be having several of these little podcasts, short ones, because I don't want to have a long one, because I listen to the podcast and it lasts an hour and I get bored and I stop or get phone calls or something like that, and then I gotta come back, and they're interesting to me, but I don't think they'll be interesting for an hour on a screen, in person, a different story, but not on a podcast. So we're going to be doing several of these for several different topics, but I just want y'all to know that we are a consulting firm. We do looking at mobile home parks. We tell you what our consulting fee will be up front when we look at the project. We can't tell you. People call me up and say, what do you charge for a fee? Well, I don't know. I got to look at the project. If it's something that's easy, we don't charge that much. If it's something that's going to be a lot of work, I'm going to charge a lot of consulting fee. I mean, that's just fair. Go ahead, Mark.
Yeah. So when we talk about, you talked about this plan.
Yes.
What does this plan look like? I mean, do we have, I mean, I know we've seen it, but explain, a couple of stages, phases. What's the typical process?
We look at the mobile home park and we see, well, okay, these people aren't paying. Of course, we got to get rid of them. What does it take to get rid of the home, people in their own home? What does it take to get people that you own a home, which always is easier? And then we figure, okay, we're going to have to evict these people, we're going to have to remodel these homes. These homes over here are already vacant, we can do them. So what we like to do is make a plan to where you go in with an outside crew, which none of these crews work for us. We just have people that we've been working with for a long time. They're independent contractors. They go in, paint homes, fix homes, do things. So we have an outside crew that Kristen sends in. Kristen, what do they charge to paint a home?
$500 labor.
$500 labor to paint a home and fix skirting if it's something a little off, or straighten up the steps. So to make the outside look better, $500 we furnish the paint. And they did it for 2 of your parts, didn't they?
Yeah, constantly.
You did good, huh?
Yeah.
And then the one over in Louisiana, didn't that same people just tear down the trailers and stuff?
Yeah.
Okay. So they go in for $500, paint the outside of all the homes, make the outside look good, and that way, when you get ready to fix the inside, you can rent the trailer for more, because the one next door to you don't look like Fred Sanford lives there. So you just go in, have the crews go in, do the outside, and you fix all the outside of the homes, and that crew goes in here and knocks them all out real quick, because they can just knock them out because they want to get paid real quick. Then your other crew goes in and starts on the easiest home. People say, well, you got to get all 3 bedrooms. No. The easiest home first, get it fixed and rented, go to the next one, And how long does it take to do the turnaround plan? Well, one crew, if it's really old crappy trailers that look like they should be going to the dump, they'll do about 2 a month of those. So you'll fix 2 a month. But if you have 2 crews, you'll fix 4 a month. I'm smart, see? So anyway, it's according to how many crews you get in there and how fast your plan's going to work. So we make a plan on get rid of the people, get a good manager, do this, and we try to set a timeline. But I'll tell you, a plan is only as good as the guy operating the plan, and the owner of this park is you. So if you make a plan and you don't follow your plan, it ain't going to work. If you do follow your plan, it is going to work, and the faster you do your plan, the faster it's going to work. So it's up to you. You have to decide what you want and when you want to do it. But if I'm going to be involved in it, unless you agree to do the outside of them trailers, then you ain't got to worry about paying me nothing, because I'm not going to be part of it.
And so, Robert, that would be like a phase 1 of a plan, right?
Yeah, and then phase 2 would be filling up vacant lots. Now, if you're in an area that you can rent this many, you can do the filling up the lots at the same time you're fixing trailers. But if you're in an area where you're only going to rent 2 homes a month, you only need 1 crew. It's according to where you're buying and what kind of rate you can fill homes in. But if you're in an area where you can rent 6 homes a month and get 2 crews and buy 2 trailers, I mean, yes, that's why we have to. It's your plan, and we have to discuss it. And it's according to where the park is. I can't just say, oh, this is what you do. I have to look at the property, and that's what we do. We look at the property. And every area has a different plan. It's according to where you're buying the mobile home park and what you want to do, and what kind of money you want to put in, those kind of things. And we do consulting. Like I said, my name is Robert Merchant. We're going to be having some more of these little podcasts about different topics. Our first one's going to be park-owned homes versus tenant-owned homes and rent-to-owns, and we'll have these out 2 this week and 2 the next week.
And if someone wants to reach you with questions or whatever, what's the best way to do that?
Just call me at 209-996-4075.